Your Money, sponsored by Noble Gold.
Suggesting we could be in a recession. I'm going to say that again because it's important. The GDP report out just moments ago suggesting we could now be in a recession or headed that way. Joining me now to discuss is President and CEO of Noble Gold Investments, Collin Plume. Collin, welcome back to the National Desk.
Thank you, Eugene. Good morning.
Good morning. Big news that just came out moments ago. Help us define recession here. Now, according to the Oxford English Dictionary, I'm going to read this here for you. It's, quote, a period of temporary economic decline during which trade and industrial activity are reduced, generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. That report just out. That just happened. We now have those 2 quarters of a decline there. So how do you see the situation now? Because the White House has been denying that a recession is on the horizon. How do you see it, and what do you make of the White House addressing this as maybe something that's not so impending?
Well, technical, actual, I mean, you can use any term you want. It does fall in the definition of what a recession is. Now, this one is unique in that unemployment right now is surprisingly low. We're below 4% unemployment right now, which I don't think we've seen that happen in a lot of recessions. So that's why they're sort of hanging their hat on low unemployment. But ultimately, how long we stay at that low unemployment, we don't know. And if we go 3 or 4 quarters of low GDP growth, obviously it'll affect the whole economy, and it's already affected substantially. It's already affected the stock market.
Now, if we are indeed in a recession now, what are some of the most recession-proof industries or jobs that people should be looking for right now?
Yeah, healthcare is always strong, safe. You know, obviously people need that no matter what happens. Computers, technology is important right now, and government jobs, and then obviously the government's not shrinking at this point, and then education. A lot of people, if they feel like the economy is going to be bad, they'll go back to school. They'll learn another career. So those industries should do well. Universities, people want to get masters. Nursing education schools. So those schools will do well. So education is usually pretty strong.
Yeah, let's talk about education. In fact, some people looking for new work may want to explore some new skills and maybe go in a different direction. So what are some of those recession-proof skills that prospective employers are looking for? Because nobody wants to waste their time. You want to make sure you get the skills that are you can put to use immediately, right?
Yeah. So those industries are where I would look for if you're looking for a career change and you want to get hired quickly. But the skills are more broad. So communication is a big skill. Being able to communicate what you're doing, how you're doing it to an employer so they know that you can fulfill some of the tasks that they need. And then I think that the biggest thing that I always look for, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs look for when you're hiring, is project management. You're always, as a business, taking on new projects, and you'd be surprised at how few people can actually handle that job. They're afraid of it because there's a lot of flexibility with project management. You're managing a lot of people. You have to hit deadlines. So I think project management and learning how to get a project to the finish line is a skill that will never go out of fashion.
Now, with recessions, oftentimes we have fears of layoffs, but the CEO of Google has a plan to not only keep people employed, but to thrive in uncertain times. And he breaks it all down to just 3 words, quote, be more entrepreneurial. Now, what does the CEO mean by that? How will that make their positions recession-proof?
Well, I think with any company now, with people working mostly remote and a lot of changes happening daily, the idea for an employee now is to venture out of your comfort zone. That's really the biggest thing, and I think that's what he's sort of leaning towards is, looking to outside of yourself and the current skills, not resting on your laurels, and really looking at other things that a company is going to need, value add yourself as much as possible, and take some chances with adding some education or learning some new skills so that you can become irreplaceable as an employee. And that's what people need to do, because a lot of the jobs, as you know, Eugene, a lot of the jobs, careers that have been there are going away. And so we have to look to the future, and we have to be flexible and learning new skills.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of job hopping in the last couple of years as well. It'll be interesting to see how that changes moving forward here with this new information just coming down. Collin Plume with Noble Gold Investments, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, Eugene.